Railroads and wind farms. Steve 87th here. Well, last weekend was a trip to the mountains. Went out to Mount Baker to see some snow and some greenery. This weekend, it's off to eastern Washington, over the mountains and into the desert. Stopped in the town of Ellensburg, Washington, where we stayed overnight for the next day. Found this neat little cafe that had all kinds of little stuff in it, including all these little models of trains hanging up on the. So that was kind of cool. It was called the Palace Cafe in downtown Ellensburg. After dinner, we headed over towards the railroad station and found this caboose in a park. So it's a Northern Pacific that was donated to the city, and the city has preserved it in this little park across from the railroad station. The Ellensburg Railroad Station is an old Northern Pacific one. I couldn't do too good on getting pictures because apparently they're restoring it, and there were all kinds of signs that said do not take pictures. So we only took a little bit. But the restoration is coming along because you can see this is a Railway Express section of the station with the signs and all. So I'm not sure what they're going to be doing with it, but it looks like a neat kind of restoration. And next door to the old railroad station is the actual Burlington Northern Operations yard for the Ellensburg area. So we drove around town trying to find some interesting industries, and we found one. This is a container loading facility out in the middle of nowhere, but it's kind of interesting. They don't necessarily load to rail cars, but you could fix it up that way. However, the industry, Ward Ruff Incorporated, they actually put hay, yes, like for horses and cows and things like that, in these shipping containers from eastern Washington, and they're shipped all over the country and all over the world by rail and by truck, and hence they're all in containers. So it's all a bunch of hay bales and stuff in those containers that you see there. So that would be kind of an interesting little side industry to hobby to model on a railroad if you don't have a lot of room or something like that and you want something in some intermodal traffic, because you could always put these containers on the intermodal cars that go through here all the time. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You can find this on Google Maps, again in Ellensburg, Washington, and just look kind of along the railroad tracks. Or you could look up Ward Ruff Inc. They're apparently world renowned for shipping out hay. So after our night in Ellensburg, we set out into the desert. We went to a petrified forest, which wasn't that great, so we don't have a whole lot of pictures. I don't have a whole lot of pictures of that. So then we decided, well, let's see if we can salvage this day, and also let's see if we can make Nancy a little bit happy. So we drove up to the Wild Horse Wind Farm. It's at about 3,500 feet outside of Ellensburg, Washington, and there's like 149 or something like that of these windmills at the top of this hill. And that's Mount Rainier. And you can see them, they're turning slowly in the wind. Close-up view. And here is one of the blades that they had on display. We could only do outside displays, so this was kind of cool. Just to show you kind of the length, and you can see the wind farm in the background. It's pretty long. Here's a view down inside of the propeller side. It's actually hollow in it, and it's shaped much like an aircraft wing to give it better aerodynamic design. Kind of cool that you could actually see in it. I shot through this grate so that you can see how it's bolted, and you can see all the bolts that bolted onto the actual motor section. And then here's just another shot of it down the whole length of it. You can see you can't even see the tip. So the next series are just a couple of shots of the information, so you guys can pause if you want to read the whole thing. On those other videos, I tried to use just the actual sound that was there so you guys could hear what it sounded like when we were up there. And like I said, this is kind of some fun facts. We were at like 3,500 feet or so, and they said that they get a prevailing wind of like 9 miles per hour. They had a little thing for the kids, so this would be kind of neat to read to find out about how the airfoils work and all. Another sort of close-up on this so that you can see how they talk about the differences in the sound decibels. And then one more picture of how they put it all together and how they have to handle it and all that kind of stuff, which was really kind of cool. Apparently, they give you a tour up one of the towers, but they were closed because of COVID-19. But this is all of the stuff that's on the inside of it. What's really kind of cool is the center section here, which is the generator portion of it. You could actually spin it with your hands. That's how easy it is to move them. Well, let me tell you why I'm able to do this video. This is something that I got from Vinny today. So if you can see here, I'm laying here with my ankle a little bit twisted. You know, I got through the hike. I had no problem. I actually had one fall while I was on the hike out in the desert. Nothing was a problem. Today I came here cleaning out my fountain off to the side, and I slipped on one of the rocks and kind of messed up my foot a little bit. So all of my Labor Day, which I was going to do something, has now been sitting on the couch watching videos and making videos. So when I got home, like I said, I got this in the mail from Vinny, which is my highways and byways retail parking lot set, which is good because I've got some other stuff coming in shortly, which is going to help. My cat's decided to leave me. Apparently, she doesn't like me moving around while I'm doing all this. And apparently, somebody else must have been at Vinny's house when he did this because, look, I got all this stuff from Container Man 68. I got some cards here, which are kind of cool. Got a neat sticker of the front of his truck. That was neat. As seen on Container Man 68, that came along. Vinny sent me one of his cards, which is kind of cool. That's kind of neat too. It's with a congrats on the back of it from Vinny. And I also got a mouse pad from Container Man. So I just want to say thanks a lot, Vinny. I got everything. It all came in. And thanks a lot, Roy, for adding some stuff, and Vinny for sending the stuff out from Roy. So everybody, thanks a lot. My leg will be fine in a day or two. It just was, like I said, it's just a little twisted. It's not sprained, so no big deal. Everybody, I hope you guys enjoy this video. Nancy, I hope you liked the video because we said, well, I'll take some video of windmills since Nancy likes those. So everybody have a good rest of your weekend, and there'll be some videos out. If you like this, go ahead and hit the like button, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't too. This is Steve 87 saying have a nice weekend. Take it easy, everybody.